What's up, guys? Hey, I'm here with Natalie Allen, who is a writer and photographer at Moment. Say hey.
Hey, what's up?
She's an awesome photographer. In today's video, we just wanted to show you her editing process. We actually just recorded this whole thing. The screen recording didn't work, so this is take two.
Let's do it. Let's send it.
Let's send it. Anyways, she has some awesome photography, like editing related tips when it comes to mobile photography. So she's gonna be walking you through her process with VSCO and Afterlight.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Here's the setup. Let's do it. Take two.
Before we start, this is totally my personal taste and preference. Like, don't feel the need to think that I know everything. There is no right or wrong way to edit your mobile pictures. This is just how I do it, and so I thought it would be kind of fun to share with you guys. The two apps I'm gonna be showing you today are through VSCO and Afterlight. I like these apps just because of how simple their interface is. They are minimalistic in design, and they just offer really awesome dynamic range of editing tools, as well as filters and presets to help color correct those mobile pictures. If you're looking to keep a consistent editing style, sort of as you go through this, you'll notice that I'm only choosing about 3 to 5 presets to sift through while I edit my photos. And I think that that's gonna help you tremendously in not only keeping a consistent style, but keeping your workflow at a minimum, which I think is really important. You know, coming from, getting to know me and my background a little bit more, I predominantly shoot film. I've been shooting more film photography than I have digital these days, and so with my mobile images in particular, I really like to emulate the same style and vibe as film in my photos. I like the colors, the sharpness, the brightness, and how timeless each image is. I really love when images and photography withstand the test of time. I think that's just, I don't know, that really speaks to me and that empowers me to continue taking photos. So just kind of take note of that as I go through this. So let's get started. Earlier this week, I'm gonna start in VSCO. Earlier this week, Caleb, Niles, myself, and Andrew Kearns went on a really awesome surf trip to some peninsula in Washington here. This is my first time here, and it's gorgeous, so everything's Seattle here to me. And so I'm gonna be using some images that I took on that trip and editing them here for y'all. So let's start with VSCO. I'm gonna start with this image right here. I'm gonna only be showing you 3 to 4 images, keeping it nice, short, and simple. So again, I have about 3 to 5 presets or filters that I like to sort of sift through and see what one works best according to the image or scene. So this image is shot indoors. It was in a ferry, and you can see the water in the background. So on VSCO, my favorite filters and presets are any of the K series and A series. I especially like KP9. KP9 is really cool because it emulates Kodak Portra 160. And again, I'm a big film photographer, so any film lovers out there probably know what Kodak Portra 160 looks like. It's very vibrant and bright, and it's got a little bit of purpleness to the shadows, bright greenery. It just overall has a really awesome sort of nostalgic color feel to it. That actually looks really, I kind of like that right there. That looks really good. But just to show you a few others so you can kind of get a feel for them. I also like A6. A6 is nice. It's very organic, very natural. It doesn't really take away from the colors too much. And I also like AL5. Doesn't work too well for this photo. It's kind of blowing out the sort of tangent lighting here, but I like AL5 a lot as well. So I think I'm gonna go with KP9. Really nice, really simple. And I like VSCO's interface because as soon as you open up the filter, you can adjust the intensity by its slider. Check that off. Yeah, I actually like that a lot. Looks good to me. I might adjust the temperature ever so slightly to make it just a little more cool, just because it is so yellow in this ferry. Yeah, I like that, very natural. Cool, save it, complete. Looks good. All right, so next image it's very different in lighting and colors, as you can tell. Again, I'm gonna edit this one in VSCO. So this is, this is Paint. This is the cutest dog. This is actually Niles' puppy, and he is obviously very photogenic. So he was lying in the shade in this beautiful field of daisies and wild grass. So the colors are very vibrant here. So I'm gonna go through the filters one more time. Again, trying to keep it consistent and minimal. Let's see where. I'm gonna kind of show through KP9. It's a little too much color there. KP8's nice. I'm gonna go to A6. Oh, I like that. That looks really good. A6 might be my winner. Check out AL5. That's nice too. I kind of like A6 though. I'm gonna choose A6. Adjust the intensity. Yeah, that is perfect. The composition is a little wonky, so I might adjust the cropping and composition just ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. There we go. Hone in on that good boy. Yeah, that's good. I like that. The contrast is there. His highlights are nice. Exposure is great. I like it. Perfect. Okay, so for this next image, I'm actually going to bring it up in Afterlight. So, and the reason, okay, so VSCO's wonderful, and I love their presets, filters, the colors that come with them. They're really beautiful, and I actually prefer those over the ones in Afterlight. But with this next image, you'll see that this image just needs a little bit more help. In this particular setting, it was very bright. It was super sunny, hardly any clouds in the sky. And when you're shooting under those conditions, especially on the phone, you lose a lot of detail in the shadows or highlights because everything is just so blown out and uneven. So with this image, it just needs a little bit more help than what VSCO can give me, right? So in Afterlight, I love it a lot because you can get pretty detailed in the editing here. It's actually kind of impressive and amazing. So I like to bring up the curves, do a little sort of reversed S here, right? Bring up the shadows, come up to the top, maybe lower the highlights ever so slightly. Maybe bring up just a little bit, actually. Yeah, there we go. VSCO doesn't have curves, so I like to go to Afterlight for this feature. Yeah, just a little bit. That way you can see the details in the shadows and where Andrew's like scrubbing his surfboard, and I like that. I'll adjust the color and contrast later, but just to give it a little bit more light, I like to use the curves. All right. I'm gonna adjust the filters now. So in Afterlight, I like either Fable or Clover. Again, simple, minimal, brings out the colors and highlights. I think I might choose Clover for this one. I'm gonna adjust the intensity ever so slightly, bring down the brightness a little bit. It's a little too blown out. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, perfect. And then probably bring in a little more contrast because I like bright contrast, sharp images, high contrast. Bring that up a little bit more. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, perfect. Nice and simple. You get the green, you get the nice blue, you get the details in the shadows. I say it's good to go. Save it. Save complete. Double check the screen recording. We're good. Okay, back to VSCO.
We're good.
And edit a portrait of Andrew just so we can see skin tones and a portrait. It's a little different than the other photos. So let's bring this up. Again, kind of go through my favorite filters and presets, see what colors work best with the photo. Again, I like the K series. Gonna kind of go through some more K series. KP1, 2, 3. Oh, I actually kind of like 3 a lot. That's nice. KP4, KP9 doesn't really work too well here. I think it's just because it's just so bright out. It makes the colors look way too wonky. I think I'm gonna go, let's double check A6. Oh, I kind of like A6 and AL5. All right, let's see. I think I'm gonna go with A6. Cool. A6, beautiful. Bring up. All right, so obviously the contrast needs to be lowered a little bit, bring up the brightness. I always adjust exposure first. Looks good. I'm gonna bring up the sharpness ever so slightly. I'm gonna probably go ahead and crop this because if you can tell, the composition's just a little off, not too bad, but I do wanna perfect that before I go any further. Bring it up to him a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, perfect. That way it's less messy on the bottom. Okay. Let's bring up the temperature. Because again, I like warmer images. I'm from the desert, so oranges, reds, yellows, and sort of crimson colors are just kind of my thing. So I like to have warmer images. Of course, that's all personal taste and preference, but warm that up a little bit. Probably bring up this exposure and shadows just a little bit because again, it's so bright and we don't wanna lose too much detail in those shadows. There's that contrast, yeah, there we go. Cool, and then the last step is skin tone. So I love this feature a lot in VSCO and it actually works super well with most images. When you bring up the slider, you can slide it right, which gives the skin a little more sort of desaturated yellow and oranges, but if you slide it to the left, it gives it a little bit more of a red color. And for this picture, I like it to be a little bit more orange. It's just more natural and it complements a lot of diverse skin tones and colors, which is nice. So that's perfect. Yeah, looks good. I like that a lot. Nice, Andrew. Thanks. Cool. I think that's pretty much it. Nice and simple. And it's still recording. I don't like to go too crazy on my edits because again, I just like a more natural, organic, timeless image. And I can look back on these photos years from now and still think that it was a pretty decent photo. Again, VSCO and Afterlight, I've been using these apps for literally years. They're so reliable. They have a great interface and their features and tools are exactly what I need. Their colors are awesome. And it emulates film, which again, I love. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, thanks again to Natalie for coming in. She's actually working at Moment now as a photographer and a writer for us. And we got her to fly up to Seattle to hang out and shoot some stuff. So wanted to take advantage and get her on video. Yeah, did you have fun?
I had an awesome time.
Good.
This is great.
It's so loud in here. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, if you guys have any more questions about editing, leave a comment below on that. Make sure you follow Natalie on Instagram, of course. And we'll see you in the next video.
Awesome. See ya.
See ya.